Hello, I am Dr. Segar Kanti. In this video, we prove some results in vector spaces related with linear dependence and independence. In theorem, if n vectors of a vector space V over F span V and R vectors are linearly independent then n greater than or equal to R. Okay. So V is a vector space over the field F and n vectors are there which span the vector space V. Which span means every vector of V can be expressed as the linear combination of these n vectors. And if we have R vectors are linearly independent, then we have to prove that n greater than or equal to R. So that means here, suppose we have two sets. One is set A, another one is set B. Suppose set A consisting of n vectors and these n vectors, that is the set A span the vector space V and B is the set consisting of R vectors, and if the set B is linearly independent, then A consisting of more than R equal to the number of elements of B. This we have to prove. Okay, let me consider let A equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha n we span V. Okay. So these n vectors span V. And I will consider another set here. B is equal to say beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta R. Okay. B linearly independent set. Okay. So here I have to prove that n greater than or equal to R. So for this, A span V. Okay, the set A span V. What this implies? Implies every vector or every element of V, can be expressed as linear combination of the elements of A. Elements are vectors. That is, the elements of Y are nothing but the vectors. Okay. Now here, every element of B can be expressed as the linear combination of the vectors of A. In particular, beta 1 is an element of B. Therefore, beta 1 can be expressed as the linear combination of the elements of A. Now here, beta 1 belongs to B implies beta 1 can be expressed as the linear combination of the vectors of A. That is a C1 alpha 1 plus C2 alpha 2 plus C3 alpha 3 plus Cn alpha n. Okay. Every vector of V can be expressed as the linear combination of these vectors. In particular, beta 1 is an element of V. Therefore, beta 1 can be expressed as the linear combination of these vectors. Now here, beta 1 can be expressed as the linear combination of these vectors. Then alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha n along with this beta 1, this becomes a linearly dependent set because we are expressing beta 1 as the linear combination of these vectors. Therefore, all these vectors forms a linearly dependent set. That is, this implies, I will take one more set here. Say A1 is equal to beta 1, beta 1, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha k, alpha n is linearly dependent set. Okay, this is a linearly dependent set. Beta 1, alpha 2, alpha k up to alpha n is linearly dependent set. And here, this consisting of all the elements of A. So therefore, here A1 again span V. Okay, every element of V can be expressed as a linear combination of these vectors. Right? Now here, as this is linearly dependent set, then there exists a vector. By one of the theorem, if this is a linearly dependent set, then there exists a vector say alpha k, which can be expressed as the linear combination of its preceding vectors. Okay, this implies there exists alpha k, which can be expressed as linear combination of its preceding vectors. Okay, preceding vectors, right? This result we have proved. Okay, linear combination of its preceding vectors. That means here alpha k can be written as beta 1, alpha 2 up to alpha k minus 1. So that means here, at this span the vector space V, every vector of V can be expressed as the linear combination of these vectors. That is here, say D1 beta 1 plus C1 alpha 1 plus C2 alpha 2 plus CK alpha k plus Cn alpha n. Then what I do here is I will replace this by these preceding vectors. That means here, to express a vector as the linear combination of these vectors, then there is no need of including this alpha k, because alpha k can be expressed as previous vectors. So I will remove this alpha k here, and I will write this new set as A2 is equal to beta 1, beta 2, beta 1, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha k minus 1, alpha k plus 1. I have removed this alpha k. Okay, it is not necessary here. Alpha k, alpha n. Span vector space V. We can remove this alpha k because alpha k can be expressed as the linear combination of its preceding vectors. Therefore, there is no need of alpha k. Therefore, I have removed that alpha k. Right? This is span vector space V. So now what happened here is I have included one beta, that is from the set B, from the independent set. Okay, from the independent set. So I have taken one beta from B and included in this set, and at the same time I have removed one vector here. So including one beta, I excluded one alpha here. Still it spans the vector space. Next, what I do here is, again I will continue the same procedure here. And here, A2 equal to this one. And I will write this another set B1 is equal to beta 2, beta 3 up to beta R, right? Now here A2 span V, B1 is linearly independent. This is a subset of a linearly independent set. Therefore, definitely this is linearly independent. So here A2 span V and B1 is linearly independent, right? With this idea, so here A2 span P and B1 is linearly independent, right? Now again I will repeat the same procedure in the first step. What I have done here, there A was spanning the vector space and the set B was linearly independent. Then what I did there, I have taken one beta from B, that is from independent set, and I have included in that spanning set, and I have removed one vector. So that is here including one vector. That is, if I take beta 1 from B and if I include to A, then correspondingly there exists a vector alpha, that is alpha k, which I have deleted. Here also what I do here is I will take beta 2. I will take beta 2 corresponding to beta 2 there exists a vector say alpha I, which I can remove from this. Then we get a set there say A3 is equal to beta 2, beta 1 up to alpha I minus 1, alpha I plus 1 and alpha k minus 1, alpha k plus 1 up to alpha n. So I have included one beta to the set and I have deleted one alpha. So that means here for every beta there exists one alpha, right? For every beta there exists one alpha. How many betas are there? Totally R betas are there. So that is the set B consisting of R vectors. R betas are there. Therefore, there must be at least R alphas. This implies n is greater than or equal to R. Okay. So A2 span B and B1 is linearly independent. Proceeding as in the previous step, include beta 2 and remove say alpha I. Remove say alpha I. What this implies here is for every beta I there exists some alpha I there, some alpha I, which implies n is greater than or equal to R. So that is here. So for every beta means I have included beta 1 excluded 1 alpha, beta 2 excluded 1 alpha, beta 3 excluded 1 alpha, finally beta R excluded 1 alpha. So for every beta there is a alpha. That means here set A originally consisting of more than or at least R elements. This shows that n is greater than or equal to R. Okay, this is the proof. Next I will go to one more result. Three vectors we write like this, the set say SC is equal to x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3 and z1, z2, z3 is linearly independent set of a vector space V3R. Okay, V3R. If and only if the determinant x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, z1, z2, z3 is equal to 0. Okay. So V3R is a vector space over the field R, and S is the set consisting of three vectors x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, z1, z2, z3. Then the set S is linearly dependent. I have tried, not independent. Is linearly dependent. Is linearly dependent if and only if this determinant is equal to 0. That is, this set is linearly dependent, then this determinant is equal to 0. Conversely, if this determinant value equal to 0, then the set is linearly dependent. Okay. So here to prove this, I can say S is linearly dependent. S is linearly dependent. What this implies? Implies there exist scalars C1, C2, C3, not all 0, such that C1 into x1, x2, x3 plus C2 into y1, y2, y3 plus C3 into z1, z2, z3 is equal to 0. This is by the definition of linearly dependent set. Right? C1 alpha 1 plus C2 alpha 2 plus C3 alpha 3 equal to 0 for at least one scalar is not equal to 0. That is, this implies, what this implies? This implies, if I take the scalar multiplication and vector addition here, we write this as C1 x1 plus C2 y1. First term C1 x1 plus C2 y1 plus C3 z1 plus C3 z1, comma. Second element C1 x2 plus C2 y2 plus C3 z2, that is plus comma C1 ex2 plus C2 y2 plus C3 z2, comma. What is the third one? C1 x3 plus C2 y3 plus C3 z3, that is here C1 x3 plus C2 y3 plus C3 z3 is equal to 0. 0 means this is 0 vector here, not our ordinary 0. This is 0, 0, 0. Right? And what this implies? This implies C1 x1 plus C2 y1 plus C3 z1 is equal to 0. And C1 ex2 plus C2 y2 plus C3 z2 is equal to 0. Okay, second term. And third term C1 x3 plus C2 y3 plus C3 z3 is equal to 0. Right? So here we can write, there exists as linear dependent, there exist scalars not all 0 such that this is equal to 0. That this implies and implied by. We can write this implies implied by, that if and only if. And this is if and only if. If and only if has a non-trivial solution. That is a scalar C1, C2, C3 not all 0. If all of them are equal to 0, then you say that it is a trivial solution. Not all 0 means this has a non-trivial solution. Has a non-trivial solution. And when do we get this is the system of homogeneous equations. Okay, this is the system of homogeneous equations. And these equations for unknown C1, C2, C3. So here unknowns are C1, C2, C3 and x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, x3, y3, z3. These are the coefficients. And this is a homogeneous system of equations. Here we have two solutions. One is trivial solution, another one is non-trivial solution. When do we get a trivial solution? That is all of them equal to 0 is this determinant, the determinant of the coefficient is not equal to 0. And we have non-trivial solutions if the determinant of the coefficients is equal to 0. That is, this implies and implied by, okay, implies and implied by the determinant. First row x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, x3, y3, z3. This determinant must be equal to 0. Okay. This has a non-trivial solution if this determinant is equal to 0. And we know that determinant of A and the determinant of A dash are same here. So if I interchange the rows and the columns, I can interchange the rows and the columns. That is also equal to 0. That is, instead of writing like this, what I do here, I will write first column in first row, second column in second row, third column in third row. Okay. So that is, this implies and implied by or here it shall be right. First row x1, x2, x3. Second row y1, y2, y3. Third row z1, z2, z3 is equal to 0. Okay. So this is the result. This is for vector space V3R. Three vectors are given. x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, z1, z2, z3. Then they are linearly dependent if this determinant is equal to 0. Independent determinant is not equal to 0. So if the vector space is V3R and if it is required to verify whether the given three vectors are linearly dependent or independent, no need to consider that definition C1 alpha 1 plus C2 alpha 2 plus C3 alpha 3. Just we go to this determinant value. That is here. First vector I will write first row, second vector second row, third vector third row. I will evaluate this determinant. If I get it is equal to 0, the vectors are linearly dependent. Not equal to 0, they are linearly independent. Okay. Thank you. I will stop here.